some of you who are taking notes, some of you who are playing with mobiles, some of you who are whispering to the man next to you how boring I am. I learn from the reactions of those of you who are thinking about, is it about time we go to dinner? And some of you who are smiling and saying, well, this man is coming to give us some wisdom, and he's so ancient that he has nothing to do to tell us, because we know everything he wants to tell us. But I learn, and I enjoy learning. And I tell you that after I leave here, I'm going to go, I do my homework. I will write down what I learned from speaking to you. You don't learn just from listening. You learn from teaching. You learn from speaking. When you speak, you can learn. You look at the reaction, the body language, the reflections, and you try to learn from that to try to do a better job, even if some of you are slightly having a little map on the shoulder of his neighbor. Unfortunately, I saw every one of you, and I looked into the eyes of every one of you, and I had this eye contact, and I recognize you, and I enjoy whatever reaction you have. So at least, even if you didn't like what I said, that's nice, because you will always remember me for being disliked. It's better than being indifferent. But that's why I was commenting on this young man who was still having his nap. Anyway, I will shut up here, and I will say, well, have a good night's sleep. Enjoy it.
Thank you, Dr. Talal. We'd like to open up the floor for questions. If any of you have any, please raise your hands high.
Thank you, Mr. Abu-Ghazaleh, for your time and your wonderful speech. My name is Talal Abu-Ghazaleh.
I can't hear you, I'm sorry, I'm an old man. I said I'm 75 years old. Closer.
First of all, thank you for your time and your speech. My name is Talal Abu-Ghazaleh from the Ahmad School. My question is, I want to quote you here. You said, fall in love with ICT, with information technology.
Do I? Come and talk to me.
So you said fall in love with information technology, and that it's the enabler to success. Now there are still some people who say ICT instead is hindering us, it's causing us to be an anti-social generation, and the new generation overuses this technology. So what would you say would be a good response to the people who say that technology is bad instead and enabler, as you said? So thank you.
Thank you. I keep getting asked this question. In fact, I was once at a very serious and high-level forum of distinguished intellectuals. And I think some of my colleagues were at that occasion. And one lady comes and says, I don't like what you're saying. Because we used to go to college or to school to meet our future husbands. And if you want us to become completely online or completely IT, and we live in a knowledge planet, we will lose this privilege of meeting the future husband. By the way, I met my wife at college at the American University of Beirut. So I believe in getting married to your school friends. In fact, that's another story. I would not be able to tell it because I'm not permitted to tell how I proposed to her. So that's I will skip that pornographic part. Now because my two grandchildren felt very embarrassed. It was not really pornography. It was not. I promise you. I promise you, it was not. I was just kidding. It was just that we were in a class, and 8 young girls joined us. So joined the class from another school, and one of them was my current 50 years wife. And she, as we left the class, we didn't even know each other's name, we didn't talk. I walked by her side and I said, how many children are we going to have? She said, I don't understand what you're talking about. I said, you and I are getting married. I said, I don't even know your name. I said, okay, then that's a good point. My name is Talal Abu-Ghazaleh. Okay, so you're going to be married. So how about discussing this issue so that we know in advance and we have no problems with that in future? So he said, okay, how about you going away because I don't want to talk to you? I said, oh, you don't want to talk to me, but we're going to get married and we're going to get children, so let us agree on it. How about 2 boys and 2 girls? He said, that's the end of it. And she left me. And I saw her go to join her other friends, and she was pointing at me and saying, this man is a cuckoo. Watch it, this man is a cuckoo. So I went back to her and I said, I don't mind your calling me a cuckoo, but it is not good for you to tell your friends that you're married to a cuckoo. Anyway, as going back to the question, I asked this question on one of the panels, another panel with Bill Gates, and I said, his answer was to your question, not my answer. He said, were we more human when we were in the caves and there was no information technology and there was no even tools, any of the tools of modern technology, not let alone information technology? I don't agree that that's his position, but my position is completely different. I think living in the virtual world is more sociable than living in the real world, because it's a larger world, because it opens horizons for you and choices for you, and because it gives you choices. In the classroom, you're stuck with the friends that you have in the class. You may not like them, you may like them, but you're stuck with them. In a virtual world, you choose your friends, you choose your enemies, you have better choices, and you have freedom. In fact, the first time I heard about internet, I said I learned about computers in '62. In '82, I served on dozens, actually much more than dozens of boards of directors on global organizations. And one of them was the International Chamber of Commerce in Paris. And there comes to us the advisor to the American president for internet. Internet was then not even heard of as a name. It was not in use. It was not even heard of. His name was Ira Magaziner, I remember. There was a screen, and he was explaining about internet this way. On the screen you see a computer. At that time it was the beginning of desktop computers, which you don't know now. And on the desktop computer, in front, at the keyboard, a dog was supposedly using the computer. And it was written that the person on the other end does not realize that I am a dog. And he said, internet provides complete democracy because of its anonymity, because of its equality. When you go to the internet, you're equal to everybody in the world. Whoever is on the other end is just as equal to you. So by looking at that, he was saying that the world will achieve global democracy, which all countries of the world have failed to achieve. Now, that brings democracy. And we all talk about democracy, and we don't agree on what is democracy. Nobody can agree, no two persons can agree about the definition of democracy, like no two persons can agree on the definition of terrorism. But on the internet, it's very easy to define democracy. It means that everybody in this environment